Hello everyone, it's Connie. It is 2 o'clock on Wednesday and I am live. Just getting my comments set up here. And I decided it was time to bust out the Halloween. Let me see what I can do here to make this a little smaller. Okay, so thanks for joining me today. I haven't done a stash buster for a long time, and the truth is I don't know that I've ever done one using the Stampin' Up papers, but this Halloween paper is too cute to pass up, and it comes with lots of parts and pieces, which is my definition of one that works well for a stash buster. So the paper is called Spooky Sweet 12 by 12 Specialty Designer Series paper, and it is totally Halloween-y. And so I'm going to show you the papers really quick, and then I'll show you all the prep stuff that I've done to try to get ready to use this stash. Moose is underfoot, so if you hear noise, it's Mooster. What are you doing down there? I don't know what he's doing, but it's freaking me out because he has a tendency to find bugs and beetles and weird stuff in the house, and he's snooping around. All right, so Halloween thing. We have this paper. There are 2 sheets. The back of it is this Petunia Pop purple pattern, which is really great. And then you get 2 sheets of this. It's pumpkin, and the other side are the critters. Now, I used some of this in some of my prep, so I'll show you that in a moment. I'm more likely, I don't particularly love this paper. I'm sure it would work for other purposes, but for backgrounds of cards and stuff, I'm more likely to use this side. So I'm gonna flip it over. Then it comes with 2 sheets of this paper, which is really cool. It has like cut aparts that you could use on scrapbook pages or the inside of cards or on as labels on treat bags. These are all kind of cool ideas. I might use some of these on the inside of my cards where I want to write a message. And so I'm going to set this sheet aside so I don't accidentally cut it up. That would be bad. But I got 2 of them. The other side is this gray. I'm on the fence on this. I may want to use this. So I'm going to set those 2 aside just in case. And then there's this window paper with the eyeballs. I absolutely love it. It's so cute. The other side of it is this streaky orange, which would work really well for the inside of the cards where you have to write, because your writing would totally show on that, and yet it would have some texture or dimension. So that's neat. My favorite paper in the whole pack is this really fun candy print with a gray background, and it has like little bats all over it, and technically the bats are directional, which is weird for a random print, but if you look at the bats, if you put it this way on the paper, you're gonna notice your bats are going sideways. Not that bats don't always go sideways, but the other side is this black and orange kind of streaky print, which is really cool. Also, I added a sheet of this Petunia Pop just because I could. I was kind of thinking I might need it. This is the cardboard backer, which I can get rid of. I need to do something with that. I'm running out of spaces to lay things down. And then the other thing that it comes with is 2 sheets of punch outs, okay? And they're identical, but I went ahead and punched those out first. I did not think you would want to sit here and watch me punch out all the little pieces. But if you want to do it in a faster hurry, if you roll your paper like this and like this, a lot of times the pieces will just fall out, and sometimes they'll punch out to the point where it takes you no time flat to do that. Okay, the other thing, I went ahead and bought several items in this set, and there are a couple of ribbons that coordinate with this. This one is the Petunia Pop ribbon, which would look really nice with this, and it adds a little of that purpley pink color. The other one is, you know, that green, mossy meadow and gold ribbon that was with the pears, would look really great with this. Look how it's got that color that makes it a little Halloween-y. It's just the right green to do that. The other thing that you can get with this iridescent treat bags, and the treat bags, you get 20 of them, and I normally would not have bought them, but I bought this as a sweet, and so I pulled a few of them out. They're very interesting because they're clear, but they have a pink and gold kind of shimmer iridescence to them, depending on the way the light is shining. And so it's very interesting how you can get different colors. This rarely shows up on camera very well, but I did pull a few. I'm going to use those for my trick-or-treaters and put candies in them. So I'm going to set the rest aside, and then I just pulled a few and I just filled them with shaker material because I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do some all over shakers? And for shaker materials, I have like these little candies. Remember, if you're a Close to My Heart fan, a long time ago, Close to My Heart got these mini peppermints that were supposed to be red and white, and they came in as orange. And people were like, what the heck happened? But they sold them anyway, and I now have tons of orange peppermints that are perfect in the Halloween shaker bags. I had some stars. The other thing that is a great shaker material is at Christmas time, I like to get those, you know, those make it and bake it kid crafts. And I use, these are those ones that you fill the spaces and make stained glass like looking stuff. You fill the spaces with color and then melt it in the oven. And so these catch the light just right. And these make great shaker bits that are really inexpensive if you don't want to spend a lot of money on shakers. I'm gonna put all this stuff away just a sec here. I use a lot of those, and I bought one many years ago, and I just keep using it and using it. Okay. The other thing that I did is, okay, let's see if I can pick that up. Okay, so I punched out the pieces from the 2 pages right here. So you have like this little critter here, whatever that's supposed to be. I'm not really sure. It's like a bird / something. I don't know. Tombstones, lots of little candy corns. You have the little potion bottles. I love this little crow right here. Lots of bats. Cauldrons with bubbles that ooze over. You have some trees. I'm gonna get those trees out. That's gonna be my next prep step. And then some brooms, okay? Then, on top of that, I'm gonna set that aside. I have a couple of stamp sets that I bought. I can't resist Halloween, you guys. One of them, this is the Spooky Halloween set, and it is super cute, and there's the dies for it. So I cut out a whole bunch of little bats, a couple little people. I didn't do too many. And I did a whole bunch of the, not a whole bunch, but a few of the little haunted houses. And I will show you the paper I cut those out of and where I got it. I just thought it was cute. And then I was messing around with my gel pen and I thought, I wonder if I can make a ghost in the window or eyeballs in the window, or, you know, but I think I have a better idea for that. So I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so there is that. And I went ahead and punched or stamped a whole bunch of messages so I would have those ready. And I probably don't have enough, but enough to get through this recording, right? And then this set is Fright Night, and it is a tag set basically. It also has a few messages, has those little star things there. This one is a red rubber set, and so I want to show you a trick. I did cut a few of those. What else did I cut? I love these frames, and I love the little spider and the cobwebs. Yes, so you can see I cut out some of those, and I'm prepped with those. All right, I'm gonna set that aside. I went ahead, like I said, lots of little messages. I'm gonna put those aside, and I think these little people are super cute. I only did a couple because they needed coloring in. And when I'm doing stash busters, I have to prep a lot. And I started prepping for this yesterday. I thought I might have time to make more today, but I ended up going to get my driver's license renewed. And I was at the DMV and doing errands for like 3 hours today, so I did not have time. Anyway, these are the little banners from that second set I showed, and then these are just messages that I cut. I thought we'll see how I can use those up, right? I'm gonna put those off to the side. Now I have my shakers off to the side. I don't know how I'm gonna use those yet, but I will. Papers. Okay, now we can talk paper. Specialty paper. All right, so sometimes when I'm doing stash busters, I just pull the coordinating cardstock. Sometimes I get into my stash and I pull like this. This is like from the paper studio from a million years ago, and I still have quite a few colors in here, and several of these colors actually work really well for Halloween. And this is the paper that the shimmery paper that I cut my haunted houses out of. So get into your stash, use things up. Don't feel like you have to buy all new stuff all the time. The other thing that I did to prep, I went ahead and cut. I thought it might be nice to do kind of a basic Z-fold card as my base on this one. And so I did cut several of these bases, and then I cut some smaller pieces that might work on the inside of my cards. So I'm setting those aside because I won't need those right away either. Now, this pack right here is an old pack that I bought from the Paper Cut. The Paper Cut, I buy a lot of things from them. They have sales all the time. They're at the expos. And so what this is a set of 39 different colors of cardstock bases, A2 size cardstock bases, and you can see a lot of these will work for this Halloween paper. So I put the colors that I thought would work as card bases kind of on the top, and then the rest of them I'm going to set aside. But that way I have all my card bases basically made. I'm so lazy. All right. Okay, time to prep a little bit. I want to show you a couple of things. one of the things I thought I might do is just I cut a whole bunch of these in petunia pop, and I thought I'm just gonna put this on the front and decorate the front with little bats or little punch outs or something. But in order to do that, you have to, you know, stamp that image. Now this is the other stamp, the stripy stamp, and then there's this one that's all over. If you look in the catalog itself or online itself, you will see that they went to the trouble of fussy cutting each little thing in a different color and putting it on there so that their bat is black and their cat is black and their, you know what I mean? Like they did it a little differently. You could go over that with a real fine black marker and just do it yourself, or you could use stickles or something if you want. But I just thought I'd show you how I stamp these images. So what I like to do is I like to take a scrap piece of cardstock and just die cut the opening and put it into my MISTI like this. And then I take the stamp set that I want to use and I line it up inside of that opening to be as straight as possible, okay? And then pick it up. And now I can die cut all my little white pieces, put those in place. I have a grip mat on here. That's why it's sticking, okay? Let me just grab, sorry. I'm just grabbing my stuff here a little bit. I just want to make sure I have it all close by. Here's the other one. Okay, so this is the stripes. This is soft seafoam. And I thought that real pale green would look really nice. And the good thing about doing it on a MISTI is, let's just say you stamp it and it's not perfect. You can go in a second time and stamp it again. You know what I mean? So I'm going to scoot it over just a smidge. And then I'm going to put this in here and do another. And ta-da. Isn't that great? Now the other thing, I think I have one more. Like that. I tried to do as much in advance as possible, but I knew there might be questions about how I did so many of these. I hate stamping first and then die cutting. That is like a nightmare for me because it takes so long and I'm always in a hurry to kind of get things done. And so this way I can assembly line everything really quickly. Now let's just say that I want to put this over the top of the stripe. I'm gonna try to line that up, and maybe I want it in a different color. Maybe just black. Should I do it in black? Let me find my black ink pad. Okay, so I have this stripy one. I'm gonna put it in here. Whew. Today's been a day, you guys. I almost didn't make it. When I went to do my driver's license, they told me in order to get my real ID, I would need a certified copy of my marriage license and my birth certificate. I had to go to the courthouse. All right, isn't that cute? And if, let's just say, ugh, I want it to be even darker. I can put it back in there. I can stamp it twice, right? So maybe on this one, I'll stamp it twice and show you what I'm talking about. Like if the black isn't black enough, or you just don't feel like you got it all, like, you know, maybe your bat or your cat didn't stamp well enough. You can kind of see the difference there. One of them's a lot darker. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do this one also. No, I think I'll leave one stripey. Okay, so now I have all of these kind of prepped. And that's all I just wanted to show you. That is a trick that I saw on Jennifer McGuire. She is so amazing. And all kinds of tips and hints to, you know, making things easier. And this is such a great assembly line style. Okay, now these trees, when I put them into, there's 4 of them. When I put them into my scenes, I don't want all this white. It's a lot of white. And so most of the backgrounds have kind of a darker cast. So I thought I might take my gray ink and kind of darken that a little bit. I don't need it to be black, but not quite so much. All right, I like that. There's that one. It doesn't take very long to do this. There's a couple of little tiny punch out things, and I keep missing that one, so I'll pull that out. What's everybody else doing today? I tell you what, in my area, they moved all the county records and things. It used to be right across from my house, like I could walk over. And they moved it downtown. And the parking downtown, ugh. So going downtown was almost worse than going to the DMV. I'm like, ugh. But I had to do both. I had to go to the DMV twice. Stay in line twice because I didn't do my homework and figure out everything I needed. And then I realized I have never had a certified copy of my birth certificate. I just don't think that is something we had when I was growing up. I never needed, and I had the copy from the hospital, and that's what I took. And they were like, nope, that won't do. All right, so there's my trees. Everything's prepped. So now I'm just at the point where I need to cut paper. So let's talk about that a minute. So with this one, I'm going to need, the inside background is going to show. And then a couple of strips. This is your typical, you know, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So if I cut these 4 by 5 1/4, I can cut some of them into strips. And how many of these do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9. I don't have to make all 9. I also have this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I don't have to make all of those either. But I do want to cut some paper so I'm not working so hard when I'm ready to assemble. So let me just expand my image here. I'm gonna move my ink pads out of the way a sec. You know, the other paper that I got from Paper Cut that's really fun to play with is, it's called Miri Card, and it's It's like a mirror in that it's really shiny and glossy, and it's really fun if you want to make your spiders glossy. I made my bats glossy. It would be really great for like witch boots or something like that. So that's really fun. They have all different colors of Miri cards. They also have this, it's like a shimmery soft black, and it makes really neat cobwebs and stuff. It just adds a little bit of fun to your, to your cards. Now I need 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to cut that 5 1/4, and I'm going to cut this one 5 1/4. And that cuts off this fence. And I can use the other side, or I could use the fence, but I'm not going to right now. And I'm just going to cut these. I just want to cut this to 4, 4, and 4, right? I don't want to get too fussy on the other. Like, technically, I'll show you the background. That'll make 6. See, if you look at this background, this whole piece right here, like if you cut it at the bottom of the fence, this would make a very cool scrapbook layout scene, and a lot of people have been using it that way. I bought another pack of paper to be able to do that if I wanted to. So this one I can chop up and I don't feel bad about it at all. And so I'm just going to cut that at 5 1/4 and whoops, turn. Cut this one at 5 1/4, and then I have another fence line. The fence could be fun to add to some cards. And then see, I could, cut that differently. If you wanted to, for example, make your cards with landscape, you could cut 2 card fronts and make scenes out of that. But I'm going to do all mine vertically. I'm just doing a stash buster. I'm just trying to use my paper, come out with some really cool cards at the end. I'm not trying to make them all perfect works of art, but there is 12 right there. Now I need some backgrounds. Let me see how wide this is. This is 8. So I'm gonna cut this at 10 1/2, which gives me this scrap. This piece right here, I'm just cutting this down to the 4 by 5 1/4, just so I have some base panels to play with. And I think a lot of these I may need to cut in half for my Z-fold. Like I could put the orange here or here, but we'll see. We'll see. What else do I want? I think it would be fun to have a couple of these. So I'm gonna cut those to 4 by 5 1/4. I don't have to have tons. Like I said, I'm not making, I would love to use my entire stash here, but I don't want to be here all day long. Now I do definitely love this candy paper, and I definitely want to cut it. I'm going to cut it to the 5 1/4. So I cut it at 10 1/2. Take the scrap, slide it to 5 1/4. And then I stack them on top of each other and go to 8 and to 4. And that way I have all these bases. I have 6 bases that I can use on the candy side, or I can flip it to the funky black and orange side. I know I want to use that paper a lot, and so I'm going to go ahead and cut the other one the same way. So I'm cutting it with the back sideways at 10.5. I'm gonna go to 5.25. I'm gonna stack it. Now see, when I turn it, see, my bats will be the right direction. 8 and 4. Now I have gobs of those, right? I think I might need more orange or some purple or something, just to lighten that up a little bit. Let me see. Okay, yeah, let's do a few of these. I'm just gonna cut this at 4. And I'm gonna cut this to 10.5 and 5.25. All right. Now I know I'm going to need some like 2 and 1/8 inch slivers on these cards. But to start with, I know I want to do these cards as scenery style. And these cards, I want to use these on. So I don't know what to do first, but let's break up our scenes a little bit. I don't necessarily need to adhere everything yet, but I can spread these out a little bit so you can see what I've got to work with. This one, I'm not sure. I may do something with that shaker. All right. Okay, so I have this weird green. I might put the dark green at the end and start with gray. I like that. Here's a purple. Might be fun to use something contrasting on that. I know. Let's see. Maybe I'll put the purple one on the gray one on the purple. All right. I won't take this long to make every decision, I promise. I don't typically, but I like this hot pink color. I think it brings out the petunia pop. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. Little bit of gray. Look at that orange. Ah, it might be too much. We'll see. I don't know. It brings out maybe that one with more orange on it. Yep. Okay, we're to another green. Or do we want limey green? No, we'll do the dark green. It's creepier. Limey green, I'm not sure about. And then we have the gray again. Nice to have that pink pop off of there, right? And then we have this pink. Not exactly Halloween-y, but it'll work. And gray or orange. Let's do the orange. All right. So that basically takes care of most of our scene bases. They all have some sort of base. Now, what you can do on the scenes, we can do people, we can do punch outs, we could do shakers. And the shakers are kind of a fun idea. I just put them in, I put the shaker in the envelope. I didn't seal anything because I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to attach this. Like, I like the idea of this being like an all over shaker like this. And then being able to flip it up and have things in it. Let's do a couple of those so that you can see what I'm talking about. Now, this right here, that needs to be sealed up pretty well. There's a couple of ways you can do it. My favorite way is to use tear and tape or like a real thin like foam tape. I think tear and tape would be better though. Let me see if I have my tear and tape close by. why. I have all this adhesive in this drawer right here, and my tear and tape is usually right on the top. But I've been using it, so I may have to use something else. All right, I'm gonna open a new thing. This is just score tape. Same thing as tear and tape. It's just a little wider, not ideal. These are like 4-inch bags. So I just want to make sure my adhesive will seal the bags up, right? So I'm just gonna put a strip inside. I say that like it's easy. My hands are fiddly today. Let's see, I'm gonna put this in here, like that. I won't make tons of these because I know you won't want to watch me do a ton of these. But, and then you just press it down. If you take the extra minute to do this right though, it will make sure that your bits don't fall out. You know, you don't want shaker things to be everywhere. All right. I am putting adhesive at the top. I'm gonna line up my shaker bag here at the bottom, and I'm just gonna flip this over and press it into that adhesive, right? So now I have a shaker front, and I can adhere that whole thing onto the front of my card. And you're probably like, why aren't you folding your card up yet? I don't know. Let's see. I think that is super fun. Let me just fold that. There. Isn't that great? Okay, and then you just need the stuff. And you can put some things behind it. You could put things on top of it like this. And again, ideally, the tear and tape sticks to this plastic really well. Now, I use a lot of liquid glue, but I honestly, liquid glue doesn't always dry fast on that. You would have lots of like dry time, so you'd have to set it aside. And since I'm doing this video, I'm like, okay, I don't really have that kind of dry time, so I definitely want to use a tape runner style adhesive. I love that. He's not flying technically, but I'm gonna make him flying. I like that. And on the inside, we have all these little critters, okay? All these little trick-or-treater people. There's a lot of hippos and little pandas. I think they're pandas. Could be cats, but their ears are round. I'm not really sure what they are, to be honest. But see, you could make it so that you could put something behind on the sidewalk walking. Cute, right? I like that. We'll put him here. And we could put some pumpkins down here. I like that idea. All right, cute. And then as far as messages go, I love the No Tricks, All Treats. I like when you flip that flap, or we could even put something on the inside but I think I'm gonna put that here. I'm much faster with liquid glue, so anytime I put something on paper, boom, liquid glue it is. I'm gonna put this here. And then on the very inside, you know, I have all these Happy Halloween things that I haven't totally cut, but that's what I'm gonna put on all the insides. Cute. I love it so much. All right, so there's one. And then on the inside of the card is where I cut the extra white piece. And I think this is a great place to use some of the ribbon across it, or, you know, maybe some of the, like a cobweb that I cut with a spider, or even a couple of bats. But I'm going to be decorating the insides of these and then applying them all at once. So here's one. All right, let's do another, and then what do you think so far? Hi, Crystal. Hi, Lori. I can actually see comments. Yay. All right. It's a rare moment today. I could do another shaker. Do I want it? It does look cool as a shaker on this one, so I think I will. And so, yeah, here I go again with the crazy tape across the inside opening. Not my favorite thing to do, but it will keep the shaker from falling out. We'll be a lot happier if we don't have shaker bits everywhere. I'm going to do it the same way, and then I'll move to a different style of card. Okay, my trash can, seal that up. I'm going to put that on here. What's cool about this iridescent, I'm looking on the camera to see, like, how does it show up on there? On mine, it looks very pink, which is really neat on this pink card. On camera, it looks a little more orange, but it doesn't matter because all Halloween, it's all Halloween, it's all good. And so I'm going to attach this. All right, so now we have this here. We have this scene that we can decorate, and it screams trick-or-treater, doesn't it? I mean, honestly, I think it does. So we're going to put one of the little trick-or-treaters right here on the sidewalk, just like that. I think this one would be a couple of bats would be really nice, and I'm wondering if I want these bats or the ones I cut out. The ones I cut out are really cool, but it's hard decision, very hard decision. Now I was thinking about all of my scenes here are a little bit a little spookier looking. And so I have the word spooky that I could put on there. I also have don't worry, eat sweets. And I think that is super cute. Do I want it in orange? I think I do. And I made these so that I could cut them exactly 4 inches if I want to. I tried to, you know, make them so that they're really easy to cut. That is so darling. Look at that. And then on the outside, I think I will put, I don't know if I need anything else. Honestly, I might put something down here at the bottom, you know? The broom, that's really cute. There's this little banner that's really fun for some of them. And again, I go back to the pumpkins. I really love the pumpkins. And let me just show you what the house, if you put a haunted house, I think the haunted house looking thing I'm going to use mostly on the other style cards. So I'm going to set that one aside. I'm thinking about the pumpkin for it. I could do some tombstones. Yeah, I think I do. All right. Do a little tombstone. There we go. Set that one aside. There's two. All right, now the other type of shaker card that I thought about doing, I'm just going to set that aside for a minute. On this one right here, trying to find my small scissors, I'm going to punch a hole in the middle, and I'm going to do a little fussy cut around the circle. It does not have to be perfect, because think about who you're going to give these to. Do they look at them and tell you that they're not perfect? Because if they do, they don't deserve a card. Right? All right. So there's that. I really like that. And then I really like the idea of doing another shaker bit. This one, though, I don't have to be quite so... I don't have to seal it necessarily the same way, because it's going to go around the inside edge of the card. And so I'm just going to seal it like this. I'll put adhesive around here. I'm going to lay this in here. It's stuck. I got it off to the side. I don't know if I'm getting that loose. Hold on a minute. Hold please while I fix my static electricity that took over. It just sort of like sucked onto the paper. All right, hold on a minute. Do it better. There. Okay, that's better. It's still not perfect, but it's better. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put adhesive here like this. And that will seal it up. Even though there's an opening there, I think it will be sealed enough. Now the other part that I need to do now is take my foam. All right, honey, where's all my foam? I gotta find my wagon wheel of foam. I have a wagon wheel of foam because I use so much foam. It's ridiculous how much I use. All right, so I am going to just, what I want is I want this stuff to shake and have a little room to move. And if I don't do the foam, it won't give it a little jiggle space on my card. I want it to be able to freely roam around in there. I don't necessarily need to fill every... And this, I'm just putting that on so it won't sag on my card base. All right. Let me peel all this off. So, yeah, I have lots of tree work happening this week or two. I told my husband that instead of going to Disney this year, maybe we should spend the money on a house project that's expensive, and just kind of hold off on the expensive trips. And the tree work is expensive. Oh my goodness. We've had so many bad storms this year, and our trees are so large, and they're in our backyard, so they have to climb them in order to cut them, which adds to the expense. So, all right, so we have this orange, We could put it on any color. I like the dark green. We could do pink, we could do gray. Let's do the dark green. That's interesting. All right. So nice to have card bases all made. If you are gonna do a stash buster, it is worth, you know, a half hour or so of just taking 8.5 by 11 cardstock and just cutting down all of this cardstock, because oh my gosh, it's so great to have card bases ready and made. And oh, look at that. I think that is so cool. Let's do a cauldron. I've been wanting to do a cauldron. We can do like a cauldron and maybe a broom. Come on. Don't you think? Oh, I love it. Love it, love it. Okay, yes. And I am just going to adhere this on with glue. Same way with the broom. And then these bubbles need a little pop. And so I'm getting out my foam. Now this is such a fun project, you guys. You can do anything you want. I like to go back and add stickles to these, or shimmer brush, like a wink of Stella kind of thing. Something to make this more dimensional. The other thing that you can do if you feel like it needs more, just more, is you can take a little bit of a marker and like just highlight a few areas. Look at that. I love it so much. Look at my, I could do one in each corner with the spider. I think it needs a spider though. Hold on a minute. I went through my stash of crazy Halloween stuff I have collected over like years and years because I love Halloween so much. And I am stunned at how much I have. I have buttons and little things, trinkets, embellishments, all kinds of stuff. So this one needs a couple of little sparkly gems on the spider body and maybe some gems around it. Let me grab my green marker. I think the dull green maybe. I have like a dull green blend, and if you, I'm gonna go to the second color on it and just make it a little more dimensional here. I'm just adding a little bit of marker. I'm not going crazy here. I'm not coloring all day, but I just want this to look a little bit more mottled looking, like not so even green. There. What do you think? It's cool, right? I love it. Okay, so there's that one. Move on. Let's do another scene. We haven't done this one. With the little cat. Oh my gosh, so cute. So cute. This one, I'm just going to build the scene the way it is. Just like this. And then get all my pieces together. I think I want him popped a little bit. Let's see what I can do with my foam tape. These would be so cute on treat bags, you guys. Just a little bit of these little critters with the label. It would be so easy. I don't know how many trick-or-treaters you get, but the last few, like I would say 3 years, our weather has been horrible. And last year, all of the churches had trunk or treats at the same time as trick-or-treating, which was frustrating. A lot of parents complain because kids like to trick-or-treat in their neighborhood and go to the trunk or treats. And so this year I'm hoping they change that up just a little. Look at that little crow. Oh my gosh, so cute, so cute. And I like the no tricks, all treats idea here. Like that. And I can put some gems. That one's done. All right. Okay, so you get the idea with these. This will take me another probably half hour to crank those out. And some of them I'll put, ribbon on or make them a little creepier or whatever. Some of them I'll make a little more fun. And I really love the idea of adding this fence. That's kind of a neat idea. All right, anyway, so you get that. I'm going to put those aside for a moment. And I'm going to clear my space. For these, I really want to put some panels on. I could do like a window panel. That's fun. I love opening that and seeing that. So my idea here is to fill all the panels with something a little different on each one. And remember that only part of it will show. So on this side, we're going to need something with a little more spark, right? You want these all to be a little bit different. A candy. And I pre-scored these, so I scored it in half. So I scored it at 4 1/4, and then I flipped it and scored it at 2 1/8. So that way you're always burying the bump. In other words, I put it into my scoreboard 4 1/4, flip 2 1/8. And that way the scores are going different ways. See, one's going in, one's going out. You're always putting the bump to the inside like this. Tip of the day. And then you just decide what you want, what you want on what card. And just start filling these panels up. Once you have all of your panels more or less filled, then we do our other little 2 1/8. This is like done at 2 1/8, so you just want a 2-inch strip, and there's lots of different options for that. We can cut our panels in half. That makes it very fast. I love this little cat. It's so cute. It feels wrong to cover up the pattern, the cool patterns, the ones that you love, right? Like if there's a pattern on here that you think is really neat, it just feels wrong to cover them. Okay, so you get the idea on that. Let me now, I'm clearing off space, just a little space. I have adhesive and stuff everywhere. You can probably see it on my table. I'm gonna spread out my camera as much as I can so you can see all the mess. All the mess. All right, so now we need, on each one, we need a 2-inch strip on each thing. So like you could do a house, or you could, you know, have 2 different sides. So I'm just going to cut these down to 2, and I have a couple of orange, I have a couple of the black, I have the candy. I'm going to stack these and cut them, just so you have a variety. And remember that you also have your scraps from before that you could use if you wanted to. I love the idea of the half window. All right, so we have a few of these that I've just chopped in half, and now we're just going to fill these spaces. So let's do some candy here with the bats, and how about black? All right, now once you have all of these kind of, the basis kind of done, what I plan on doing is taking these fun little pieces like this and putting it here. I don't know what's on that one. So I'm gonna put it right on there, and that means only a part of it is going to get glue. Be very careful about gluing. You don't want to glue this side down to the back of your card, or your card won't open. So I like to kind of eyeball the center bump here and the center bump here. If I can zoom a little bit back in so you can see what I'm doing. Just like that. And then we will put this on here. Now you could use a little bit of dimensionals behind and pop that. I think that is so sweet. And then, okay, let's decorate this up. So we could put a little haunted house in here. Let's do that. What I did with the haunted houses, when they're cut, there's a hole in them. And so I just put scraps of black on the back so it would be black in the windows. The other thing that I have in my stash, you might remember, close to my heart, I had these little ghost sequins, and I bought scads of them because I told you I'm addicted to Halloween, right? Okay, these are also kind of iridescent and they have different colors, and I thought it might be kind of fun, instead of drawing the ghost, to have the ghost coming out of the window. I did try to draw the ghost. I can't say I did a great job of it, but you know, I love the little eek. Oh my gosh, it's too cute, too cute. And I'm gonna put just a tiny bit of black ink on it just to make it stand out a little more. It doesn't have to be like all detail-y, but just so you can see it against the background better. And I'm gonna, liquid glue is amazing, amazing. Look Eek. And we have our bat that we cut out. Now here, like, I wish they would have made this bat and that bat line up. Wouldn't that have been great? But you still could put it on there and it would still look really neat. I just did not. And I think this needs a cobweb. I love the idea of opening it and having some surprises inside, whether that's, you know, a cobweb here or in here, or even on this right here. It would be really fun. And a spider hanging down. And then remember to draw your, you know, spider web strand. And remember, I'm going to put gems on him, but I could use my jelly roll and make eyeballs, because that's creepy. Make eyeballs in the little windows. I love how that looks. It's so great. And on the inside, I could use a label. I could use one of the, you know, Happy Halloweens. That. That's great. That's a great option. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna kind of tuck it so that it doesn't show when my card is closed. I just love it so much. Okay, there's one. Let's do another. Let's make this one orange. And what do I want on the inside? Black. I could grab my cardstock. You know, if you're trying to skimp on paper a little bit, there's nothing wrong with adding coordinating cardstock to this, right? Now, here, I think I'm gonna have some fun with the little cutout of the stamp set. Good job, Trump. All right, put that on here. Get that glue on there where I'll use it. Put this on here. I love this little guy, so cute. And I have a little trick-or-treat bucket for him. So I'm going to find my scissors again. Just like that. And the little trick-or-treat bucket. I need to get out my real dimensionals, you guys, seriously. They're the perfect size for this. And I'm sitting here messing around with foam tape. Not good. Okay, so if I put him here, I put him here, and I put a little message. No tricks, all treats. I love it. Okay, put him. Try to get my adhesive running here. All right, so we have him, we have this little bucket. Some people are so fast with that foam tape. I can't say I'm one of them. All right, let's do that. Like that. All right, and then this, I'm just gonna put a little bit of adhesive in the center because I just want it on the front, not on the back. No adhesive back here. That is so cute. And look, see the other little it's a little cat. I could put it on the inside. Ah, that is so cute. I love the Don't Worry, Eat Sweets. I'm just gonna put this down at the bottom. And I'll put the little cat inside. And she has a bucket too. I just don't like how those, all that white showing. There we go. Cute, cute, cute. And I think I'll put a big Happy Halloween in there. So adorable, so adorable. And you know, you can tweak this any way you want. Add little critters on here. There. So cute, so adorable. I love the little windows. I'm not exactly sure how I will make the windows work, but let me see. I can make it a little creepier. On the inside, I think that put that there. Okay. See, you could put a trick-or-treater on there. You could put your house with bats above it. That's cute. I do like that. I think I'll do that. I think I will. And then I think I might put a tree on the inside. All right, let's put some bats. And then one of these creepy trees, I think will go really nicely in here. Ooh, should we put a gravestone behind this? I like that. Ooh, yeah, let's do that. Interesting how the tree turned out with the window. It looks like the cat is sitting behind the tree. I think this would be cool with it's like a glowy stickles and some orange gems. I think this is really fun. And I would think the word spooky on here would look really good. Maybe in black. Okay, so basically I've been on here for an hour and 15, which is not terrible for the number of cards that I'm making, but I do think I will sign off here pretty shortly. If those of you watching, is there anything else that you would like to see or see me use? Because, you know, if you don't have this yet, I want you to be able to see all the parts and pieces and some ideas. So gosh, just let me know if there's something that you're like, show me more. Try to decide. Isn't that cute? And then I think I'm gonna take one of those little ghosts and make it pop out of the window. All right, let me move it so you can see it. Ah, isn't that great? I think I'll put the bigger size Happy Halloween. I have also got Trick or Treat. But I think when I don't need to cut this down at this moment, but I think the Happy Halloween in here will look really nice. Sweet. And I'm just gonna keep making cards. So if there's anything that you want to see, now is the time to say so. Lots of ideas, because all I'm doing is playing with paper and different combinations, because everything coordinates, which is so great. I love this idea. Let me chop that. Could even put another little house behind it. Could cut some of the pink off, wouldn't be quite so pink at the top. If another idea on this is to blending brush it with another color, like if there's a color that you think would really look good, like there, if you wanted to add a third color, like maybe a teal or something to this, now would be, you could totally do that. Let me grab one. Like if I wanted to add, you know, this glacier blue or something, you could make this whatever color you wanted it to be. You could add stickles. Neat. I probably have something on there now. Let me wipe that just to be sure. Oh, that's so neat. Okay. You could also do like on a candy one, you could do like a border of the little candy corn. Let's see. For some reason, I really like this broom on this next here. I think that looks really nice. And I think putting some stars or ghosts in the sky would look really good. And then the Happy Halloween. Fun. Okay. So far, just playing around. I have this. The little eek. I love the eek. I love the eek and the boo. This one would be cute with some candy corn going down the side. Maybe I'll do that really quick. That's what I tend to do, is just play until I come up with stuff that I like. Like that. Isn't that cute? All right. And then I have my shaker ones that I did. This one is just a plain one, totally plain. I'll do something to the inside of that. Here's the shaker in the window, which I think is super cute. And then I definitely need decorating on the inside a little bit. Here's the one with the flip flap shaker, where it shakes all over, but the all over shaker using the envelopes. So much fun. Look at that. I just think these are a blast. Okay, so I hope that you guys enjoy stash busting. I am going to finish off this entire paper pack and all of the stuff that I cut out. And I'll do a quick reel showing my cards, even though they'll all be very similar. This is my general idea of how I'm finishing off this paper pack. And then I'll probably use my other paper pack for scrapbook pages. I don't use a lot of Halloween scrapbook pages anymore every year, so I don't make quite as many. But if you would like me to make you one, I'll have some extra. All right. Thank you so much.